This video seems interesting. Do you want to know the secret? Who are you? How did you get in my house? Do you want women to obsess over you? No, I'm not interested in that. Do you want to control every woman you come across? Fine, I'll watch this. So I was just browsing YouTube like normally, and this 47-minute ad popped in. Just the first 5 seconds were so bonkers. I had to keep watching. This is awful, frankly. So the ad basically is, of course, is trying to sell you something, which is a course on how to get girls. Let's get to it.
Is only for men who want to make a woman obsess over them.
The first shot is a man walking in a dimly lit corridor, and this warning doesn't apply to women, and is only for men who want women to obsess over them. I don't want women to obsess over me. This sounds like that episode of Rick and Morty when he makes the mistake with the love potion, and it ends very badly, as you recall.
Breakthrough psychological techniques, which work fast.
Now, this is obviously the sales premise of, yeah, we'll do this thing fast and it's gonna be easy, and yeah.
And give men complete control of dating and relationships.
Give men complete control of dating and relationship. So you'll see the theme in this video. It's not even stupid. It's really disrespectful, because it treats women just like they were a robot or an animal that is programmed for some behavior, and you can control it and use it as you want. After a few shots, just stock footage, and it starts with this awful drawn thing, which is very cost effective. What is the cheapest way we can make some graphics for this 40-minute long ad? And this is the answer.
Hey, my name's Christian, and one more warning: if you're a woman, this presentation is going to make you uncomfortable. In fact, I'm going to give you one of my very best tips in just a moment.
Of course, it takes like 10 minutes to reach the point at which he he delivers somehow.
You'll use it to figure out if a girl will have sex with you on the first date, and it works every time.
So the first trick is figuring out if a woman wants to have sex with you on the first date. Now, well, it'll take a long time to it. Basically, the trick will be to invite her over. The first thing he does is explain his life story, which is in itself ridiculous.
You see, like most guys, I used to think that money, looks, and a nice car were the way to a girl's heart and, her pants.
I think most women really don't want that. I mean, most people want like a genuine relationship. Or at least I hope so.
Dressed in Hugo Boss suits, but
dressed in Hugo Boss suits, so he's legit.
Finally convinced her to go out with me. I went all out, man. I spent over $600 on 3 dates with her.
And of course, it's all about the money. So I spent over $600.
$600 freaking dollars.
You can see the resentment of him in this situation. Obviously fake, and this is a fake story, but this certainly will appeal to a lot of guys who think, wow, that ungrateful bitch didn't give me anything after I spent X amount of money on her. The idea behind it is like an exchange. So it's like a prostitute. Like, if I spend X, you have to give me that. which is, again, sad.
If I'd only use a sex technique that I'm going to teach you in a minute.
A sex technique. Because you have to keep the subject on the name. So it's not just like a technique, it's a sex technique. Because that's what matters, guys.
This is my chance. I could be your knight in shining armor. I can.
I just want to stop because this drawing is hilarious because it's him in some sort of armor-like thing, but the legs just it looks so stupid. It's like a robot in shorts. You know, when you draw like a metal robot with little effort, and you just draw some lines and some circles which are supposed to be like bolts or something, and so lazy. And the top part is anyway, this looks nothing like a knight in a shining armor. And this is, of course, not a criticism of the guy who made the drawings, because he probably was like a freelancer who was paid little money, and he did the best he could.
I hatched a plan to surprise her 2 days later. I ordered a $50 tray of sushi, a $80 flower arrangement.
Again, he always makes sure to tell you how much he spent for the thing.
Even bought her some comfy, sexy pajamas from Victoria's Secret.
This is the worst. Like, this girl, you went out with her 3 times, and she obviously doesn't want to see you anymore, and you buy her sexy lingerie. How? What were you hoping? Isn't that like a really personal thing to gift? I mean, do people gift casually each other like underwear or something like that?
When I left work that night, I picked up the sushi and then I sped through rush hour traffic fast as I could to get to her house because I wanted to arrive a few minutes before the flowers got there. But traffic was worse than usual that day, so as I was pulling up to her curb, I saw the flower delivery guy knocking.
Just makes no sense. Can't you pick up the flowers yourself, just like the sushi? Why would there be a delivery guy? Anyway.
The door opened, but it wasn't Christine. It was a guy. And then I saw Christine. She came to the door wearing nothing but a bed sheet that was wrapped around her.
Who does that? I mean, if you're naked and, I don't know, somebody knocks at your door, so you send the guy to answer the door, and then somehow you don't have the time to put on something like a robe or underwear. I mean, how long does it take to put a shirt on? And why would you go to the door in bed sheets?
I was gonna figure this out, so I did something that most people would call totally insane. You see, as bad as I was with girls, I thought it was gonna take a lot of hard work, a ton of learning to actually land a girl like Christine again.
This is another stupid idea. It's the fact that relationships and women are something to study, like a mechanism of sorts. Married people and so on, it's not like they study this stuff, so obviously this is stupid.
I wanted to practice with more girls, so I usually went out about 5 nights a week. I read every ebook, I watched every DVD, I learned every trick I could find.
Why are they ebooks? Can't they just... Couldn't you say, I have read every book? No. Also, again, the artist did the best they could, and he's drawn a book with an E on the cover, because how the hell do you draw an ebook? I mean, well, you could draw an e-reader, but... And also CDs, Who the hell watches CDs and
Half the time, I felt like they were laughing at me, not with me. Still didn't know anything about what women really wanted, and I definitely wasn't dating the girls that I wanted.
Now, I'm not surprised this doesn't work.
I was really depressed for about 2 months. After all these years and dedication, I still felt like I had no control. I still felt like a loser.
Yeah, I believe you were depressed because this is the mind of an insane person.
What was the one thing that changed and put me in the big leagues, dating famous actresses and models, making them my girlfriends at will, getting as much sex as I could take?
Making them my girlfriends at will. Again, they are like mindless robots.
Called literotica. It's like pornography for the female mind. Think romance novels, but on steroids. Maybe you've heard of that book, 50 Shades of Grey? That's literotica.
So now he gets into, I guess, what the thing that makes women obsess over you is, and it's fan fiction.
These are written by women, mind you.
And these things are written by women. So, guys, you know what? What women want to do? Princesses? Nah, they want to be harem girls.
Their fantasies about being strippers or harem girls.
This is awful. I'm laughing, but this is just awful.
Tons of stories are out there about delighting many men at once.
Why is it in red? It's like delighting many men. That's okay. At once, though.
And if you ask a woman what she wants, she'll tell you she wants a rich guy who can make her laugh, or a sexy Men's Health cover model, or
She wants a rich guy or a cover model. No middle ground and nothing else.
And that's her social brain doing the talking, the part of her that would never tell someone about her deep, dark desires.
So, again, the idea is that women put up a facade of sorts, but they don't tell you what they truly want, which is to be strippers, as we saw earlier. So, yeah. You know what little girls dream of being when they grow up? Yes, strippers. No.
And really understand what the primitive female reptile brain desires.
The primitive female reptile brain. Again. So, like, women are... They're not human. They're some reptile, some chicken thing.
So I went a little further. I began to read some scientific research and realized that this obsession story is something that women are born with. They literally pop out of the womb programmed to fall for it.
So awful, so dehumanizing. They pop out of the womb with an obsession story. They are programmed to follow it. And there's this drawing of a toddler, of a baby, dreaming about their obsession story, and it grows. It's... I mean, don't you find it upsetting?
I'm an introvert by nature, and I sure as heck don't like to get rejected.
And of course, this applies to introverts because, he's obviously trying to appeal to a certain public. So, men, introverts, who don't know how to get a girl, who don't know maybe how relationships work, and who think that deep down all women are, again, they want rich guys or something.
It works so well that out of the 9 long-term girlfriends I've had in my life...
How old are you? 9 long-term girlfriends. So what do you consider long-term? Let's say that 2 years is long-term. So he's got 9 girlfriends. This is in the past. So 9 times 2, let's say 18. He was 20 when he was rich and all that. So is he like 50 now? Is he like 45?
Now, another thing that always frustrated me was how to transition from a number to a date to a relationship, that whole process.
How do you get from a number to a date to a relationship? Well, that's called being a human and having human personal relationship.
So I worked on this system every day, and after about 8 months, I was dating my first perfect 10. I'll show you her picture in just a second.
It doesn't show the picture ever because, of course, he can't, because it's fake.
This is the first girlfriend I landed after my system was perfected. I can't show you her face or her name for legal reasons. I was always confused about how and when to go for the first kiss. But I figured it out, and I'll tell you what I learned in just a little bit, so you'll want to stick around for that.
It takes forever to stick around for that.
First, though, I'm going to reveal the secret to finding out if a girl will have sex with you on the first date.
Now, this is the secret which we talked about 15 minutes ago. To get the women to sleep with you on the first date.
Some girls desperately want you to have sex with them on the first date, but other girls expect you to wait for a few dates so they don't feel like sluts.
So basically, what he's saying is, all women are sluts, but some of them don't want to show it. Which, I don't need to tell you, this is so wrong.
Just casually suggest that she stop by your place first. You want to be almost ready to go when she arrives, but when you answer the door, make sure you're not wearing any shoes, and major bonus points if you have half a glass of wine in your hand.
So you want to be reasonably almost ready to go, but you have a half a glass of wine later. Sure, people always drink a glass of wine before going out. Who doesn't?
Tell her that you're just finishing an email and ask her if she wants to come in. If she agrees, you hit checkpoint number 2. Now on her way in, ask her if she wouldn't mind taking her shoes off. And if she agrees to that, you've passed the 3rd checkpoint.
If she takes her shoes off, you know what? She's a slut.
And finally, I'm going to say this. Man, how rude of me. Can I pour you half a glass of wine while I finish my email? Now, if she agrees to that, then there's a very good chance that you don't even have to take her out that night.
You don't even have to take her out that night. I mean, that's money saved up.
And you don't need to pretend to be anyone who you're not.
You don't have to pretend something you're not, because all the other guys, it's not like they form genuine connections. They just fake things.
Why? Because this girlfriend getting system I decoded works on an evolutionary level. It's much deeper than her social programming.
Is that a uterus? Is that a womb? What is this? What is this thing? Okay, so I was editing the video and it's very long, so we are like at the 18-minute mark, and there's still like 20 minutes of the ad going. So I think the image of the uterus is a good place to stop. I never thought I was gonna say such a sentence in my life. And just as a conclusion, I want to say that this ad is so awful for multiple reasons. First of all, of course, at the end, you'll see the sales pitch is just this amazing value. So you'll bundle up these $2,000 courses, and the whole thing just costs $60 or something. And of course, it plays on your sense of urgency, because as soon as you enter the checkout page, there's like a 15-minute time counter, and it says, this is a test run, and after it's gone, and you'll have to pay $2,000 for it, which is already bad in itself. If someone insists so much on making you hurry, it's very probably just not worth it, just not a good product or something. And the second, and you have seen this in these 80 minutes, it's the image it portrays of women just as, again, dehumanizing. The image that emerges from this is that women are not people, or they can be controlled or dominated, and it's just an awful idea. Of course, it's very false. So just treat women like you would a person, So yeah, this is the video, and thank you for watching. It was very long. I spent like 2 hours on editing this thing just because I felt this ad was so bad. So if you liked it, please share it with people who might enjoy the picture of a uterus. I don't know. And yeah, I guess I'll see you around. I don't know. So take care. Have a nice day. Bye.